Doctors once told me that by the time I reached my 70s, I'd be on a cabinet full of pills, blood pressure meds, cholesterol drugs, maybe even insulin. But here I am at 92, still driving, still walking every day, and I haven't had so much as a cold in over 30 years. People like to call it luck. I call it something else: habit, the kind that grows roots in your life, just like the vegetables that changed mine. You've probably heard the advice, eat more greens. But what most people don't realize is that not all vegetables are created equal. Some are gentle helpers. Others are quiet powerhouses, capable of sharpening your mind, cleaning your blood, protecting your heart, and keeping your body moving long after the world says you should slow down. These aren't exotic, expensive superfoods. They're right there in the produce aisle. And they've been with me plate by plate, season by season, helping me build a body that doesn't just survive aging, it defies it. So if you've ever wondered what 7 vegetables have quietly guarded my health for over 3 decades, let me show you. But be warned, after this, you'll never look at your dinner plate the same way again. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Spinach, the antioxidant that keeps my blood young. I still remember the moment my doctor years ago looked at my lab results and asked, half joking, "Are you secretly 40?" I was 82 at the time, no signs of inflammation, blood pressure steady, circulation like someone decades younger. And the funny part, I wasn't on any special medication or high-end supplement. I just never stopped eating spinach. Most people think of spinach as just another leafy green, but when you eat it with intention, consistently, not as decoration on a plate, it becomes medicine. Real medicine. Spinach is loaded with lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that don't just protect your eyes, but clean out your blood vessels like a soft brush. They reduce the oxidative stress that builds up silently as we age. Vitamin K strengthens bones and keeps your blood from clotting dangerously. And folate, that nourishes your brain. But here's the part most seniors miss. It's not just what's in spinach, it's when and how you eat it. I always pair spinach with a healthy fat, like a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil or an egg, because that helps the body actually absorb the fat-soluble nutrients. Otherwise, you're wasting the power it holds. When I turned 65, I noticed I was forgetting simple things. My knees felt tight in the mornings, and I chalked it up to age. But once I made spinach a daily habit, not a diet trend, but a quiet, reliable companion, my body changed. My joints felt easier, my thoughts cleared up, and most surprising of all, the stiffness that crept in slowly began to fade. I don't juice it. I don't blend it into powders. I steam it lightly, saute it gently, or eat it raw in a salad. I talk to it like an old friend because that's what it's become, a steady source of life in my aging body. Every time I eat it, I feel like I'm giving my blood a tune-up. And when your blood flows young, the rest of you follows. So next time you pass by the spinach at the store, don't just look, choose it. Bring it home like you would a small treasure, because it is. And if you think spinach is powerful, wait until you meet the vegetable that cleaned out my lungs and saved me every winter for the last 25 years. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Broccoli, the immune gatekeeper that's protected me for decades. There's something almost humble about broccoli. It sits quietly in the produce aisle, rarely the star of the plate, and yet this simple cruciferous vegetable has guarded my health like a silent sentinel for over 30 years. I didn't grow up eating broccoli. In fact, I used to avoid it. Too bitter, too green, too ordinary. But that changed when I began listening, not just to doctors, but to my own body. I was 62 when my immune system started slipping. Small colds turned into lingering bronchitis. My joints, my joints swelled in the winter. I remember one holiday season, I couldn't even open a jar without wincing. That's when I discovered sulforaphane, one of the most powerful natural compounds found in broccoli. What it does is extraordinary. It signals your genes to activate detox enzymes, reduces inflammation at the cellular level, and strengthens immune defenses where medicine often can't reach. I didn't believe it at first. Could a vegetable really do all that? So I tested it, not once or twice, but daily for months. I steamed it lightly, never boiling so I wouldn't lose its nutrients, and drizzled it with lemon and olive oil. And I waited. Slowly, my colds stopped coming. My lungs felt clearer. The pain that had lived quietly in my knuckles began to retreat. It wasn't dramatic, it was gentle, but it was real. Broccoli does something even more vital as we age. It nourishes the liver, our unsung hero of longevity. When your liver is clean, your blood is clean. When your blood is clean, your cells thrive. That's why I call broccoli my immune gatekeeper. It doesn't just protect me from illness, it sets the foundation for resilience. And let's not forget the fiber. Broccoli keeps my digestion steady, my sugar balanced, and my energy level smooth throughout the day. I eat it 3 to 4 times a week, and when I travel, I miss it like a friend left behind. People ask, what's your secret? It's not magic, it's broccoli, unassuming, dependable, and quietly mighty. But if you think broccoli is powerful, let me show you the vegetable I call nature's antibiotic. It's tiny, pungent, and for over 30 winters, it's kept my lungs open and my heart strong. 3. Garlic, nature's antibiotic that never let me down. It wasn't a doctor who first told me about garlic, it was my grandmother. She came to this country with nothing but a suitcase and a jar of garlic cloves soaked in oil. Whenever someone caught a cold, she'd crush a clove, mix it with honey, and insist we swallow it whole. We'd groan, protest, even gag. But you know what? None of us ever stayed sick for long. I used to think it was an old world superstition. Now, at 92, I know better. Garlic is not a garnish to me. It's not something I sprinkle lightly on pasta. It's a ritual. It's respect. And more than that, it's one of the most potent natural medicines I've ever known. For 3 decades, I've started each morning with a crushed clove of raw garlic, left to sit for 10 minutes, just enough time for the allicin to activate. That's the real magic, the compound that gives garlic its sharp bite and its healing power. Allicin doesn't just fight bacteria. It weakens viruses, thins the blood, reduces blood pressure, and clears the respiratory tract. Every winter, when others brace for cold season, I don't flinch. I still remember the last time I had a sinus infection. It was 90. Since then, garlic has been my silent shield, working in the background, no prescription needed. But garlic is more than just a germ fighter. It's an anti-inflammatory, a blood cleanser, and even a heart protector. It supports circulation so well that I've often wondered if it's the reason I still have such steady energy and warm hands even in the coldest months. I once read that in World War I, soldiers used garlic juice to disinfect wounds when antibiotics ran out. That's how powerful it is, and yet we ignore it. We cook it to death, or worse, we skip it altogether. Not me. I give it a place of honor in my kitchen and my routine. And though it may be small, pungent, and humble, it has never let me down. Still, as powerful as garlic is, there's another vegetable I trust even more to protect my vision, sharpen my thinking, and keep my lungs strong through the seasons. It's sweet It's orange, and it's carried me through more winters than I can count. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Carrots, the sweet root that's kept my vision clear and my lungs strong. There's a kind of warmth that only carrots bring, not just in their color, but in what they've meant to me over the years. A quiet protector, hiding deep strength behind a sweet crunch. When I turned 65, I started noticing the world looked a little blurrier. Street signs were harder to read. Driving at night, I began to hesitate. I thought it was just aging. But then I remembered something my mother once said: eat your carrots. They feed your eyes. It sounded like a line from an old wives' tale, but the science caught up. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, a pigment that the body converts into vitamin A, one of the most critical nutrients for maintaining healthy vision, especially as we age. But that's not all. Vitamin A also lines and protects the surfaces of our respiratory tract. It keeps the linings in our lungs, nose, and throat healthy and strong, essential barriers to infection that grow weaker with time. For the past 3 decades, I've eaten carrots nearly every day. Some days raw, shredded into a salad with lemon and a touch of olive oil. Other days, roasted until tender, a little caramelized. In the winter, I toss them into homemade chicken broth, an old healing ritual. It's not just taste, it's what they give back. I haven't had a respiratory infection since the Clinton administration. That's not a coincidence. There's also something comforting in the act of eating carrots. They slow you down. Their crunch is grounding. They remind you to chew, to be present, to nourish instead of just eat. And over time, I realized carrots don't just help me see better. They help me feel better, like I'm fueling the machine, not just filling the tank. What started as a way to protect my eyes became something much deeper. My energy feels more even, my lungs clearer in the cold months, and I haven't needed reading glasses as early as most of my peers. That's not luck, that's intention. But even the carrot, as powerful as it is, couldn't do for my blood what the next vegetable did. This one may bring tears to your eyes when you slice it, but it brought years back to my life. 5. Onion, the humble bulb that's quietly protected my heart for decades. When people talk about superfoods, they usually name something exotic: goji berries, spirulina, or some expensive supplement that promises to turn back time. But me? I put my trust in onions, ordinary, tear-inducing, strong-smelling onions. And I say this with the full weight of experience. They've quietly protected my heart, my blood, and perhaps even my life for over 30 years. I didn't always see onions this way. In my younger years, they were just flavor for stew or something to chop finely and forget. But when I reached my 60s, things began to change. I lost a friend to a stroke, another to a sudden heart attack. They were active, smart men, still full of life. It scared me. I asked my doctor what I could do, and he said something simple: keep your blood thin, your arteries clean, and your heart calm. That's when I stumbled upon quercetin, a compound in onions that does exactly that. Quercetin is a natural flavonoid with powerful anti-inflammatory and anti-clotting properties. It helps regulate blood pressure, improves cholesterol, and prevents the buildup of plaque in arteries. It's like a gentle sweeper inside your veins. When I began including raw or lightly cooked onions into my meals, something shifted. My hands, which used to feel cold even indoors, warmed up. My blood tests improved. My doctor raised an eyebrow and said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." I didn't just eat onions once in a while. I made them part of my rhythm. I would slice red onions thin and soak them in vinegar, just like my grandmother did, to mellow the bite and preserve the nutrients. I'd add them to eggs, soups, salads, and even toast with olive oil. And I never forgot why I was doing it, not for taste, but for protection. There's also something emotionally grounding about onions. They're honest. They don't hide. They make you tear up. They remind you of how life works, layered, a little painful at times, but filled with nourishment if you peel them open. I truly believe onions have been a silent guardian of my cardiovascular system. They've helped me avoid blood thinners, stay off medication, and keep my heart beating strong into my 90s. That's not luck. That's choice, day after day. But if onions watched over my blood, the next vegetable built my strength, literally. It's small, green, and often overlooked. Yet it's packed with plant protein and gave me the muscle to keep walking, lifting, and living fully well past 80. 6. Green peas, the tiny powerhouse that preserved my strength through the years. You wouldn't think much of green peas at first glance. They're small, soft, and often treated like a side dish barely worth mentioning. But I've learned something in my 92 years. What keeps you strong isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quietest foods that hold the deepest power. For me, green peas became that quiet, dependable friend, one that helped me keep my strength, my balance, and my independence well into my 90s. I remember the day my doctor told me I was beginning to lose muscle mass. It's natural, he said, part of aging. But to me, losing strength wasn't just physical. It felt like losing pieces of who I was. I didn't want to struggle to stand up or watch my legs shrink while my belly grew. I wanted to feel solid, capable, alive. That's when I began looking at protein not as a trend, but as a necessity, especially plant-based proteins like those in green peas. Green peas are more than just filler. They're packed with plant protein, rich in B vitamins, iron, and magnesium, all essential for maintaining muscle, nerve health, and energy. But what truly surprised me was how my body responded. I started adding a generous scoop of steamed peas to my meals 4 to 5 times a week, sometimes stirred into brown rice with olive oil, other times pureed into a soup, or even tossed into scrambled eggs. Within weeks, my posture improved. I wasn't hunching as much. I could climb stairs without feeling like I had bricks tied to my feet. I wasn't just eating better, I was moving better. And movement at this age is everything. I could feel my muscles responding, my balance steadying, and the energy in my legs returning. But there's more. Green peas are high in fiber, which helped regulate my digestion, something many seniors silently struggle with. They're low on the glycemic index too, which meant they kept my blood sugar steady. No more crashing mid-morning, no more brain fog before lunch. It was like this tiny green food had slipped into my life and gently restored a part of me I feared I was losing. I sometimes smile when I scoop them onto my plate. Who knew something so small could do so much? Still, if green peas gave me strength, the next vegetable gave me something even more precious: clarity of mind, peace in the gut. It's earthy, vibrant, and carries wisdom deep in its roots. 7. Purple sweet potatoes, the root that keeps my mind sharp and my body in balance. When people ask how I've managed to stay mentally clear and physically regular into my 90s, they often expect a complicated answer, a long list of pills, powders, or expensive routines. But the truth is, the most powerful tool I have is something I've eaten since childhood, though only in recent decades did I learn to truly appreciate it: purple sweet potatoes. Their color is what first drew me back to them later in life. That deep, rich purple, almost like the sky just before dusk. I had read a study about Okinawans, one of the longest living populations in the world, whose diets are filled with these exact potatoes. I figured If it worked for them, maybe it could help me too. What I didn't expect was just how quickly my body responded. Purple sweet potatoes are rich in anthocyanins, the same powerful antioxidants found in blueberries, but in even higher concentration. These compounds don't just reduce inflammation, they cross the blood-brain barrier and protect neurons from oxidative stress. After a few weeks of adding a small serving into my evening meals, I began to notice something subtle but unmistakable. I wasn't as forgetful. My conversations flowed more easily. I felt more engaged, more here. And it wasn't just my mind. Purple sweet potatoes are loaded with soluble fiber, which helped regulate my digestion in a way no supplement ever could. No bloating, no irregularity, just smooth, natural rhythm. It might not sound glamorous, but at this age, gut health is peace of mind. When your digestion works well, your whole body feels lighter, clearer, more willing to move and live. I often roast them gently, letting their natural sweetness shine. Sometimes I'll mash them with cinnamon and a pinch of sea salt, or slice them into wedges and bake them until golden. They've become a comfort, not just for taste, but because every bite reminds me I'm actively feeding my clarity, my focus, and my future. There's something poetic about how they grow underground, quietly, hidden from view, just like the healing they do inside us. They don't shout for attention, they simply work. And over time, they've become a quiet anchor in my life, supporting me in ways I never fully understood until now. But here's what surprised me most. These 7 vegetables didn't just keep me from getting sick. They kept me alive, vibrant, engaged, mobile, still driving at 92, still learning, still loving life. And yet, even with all of these gifts from the earth, there's one final ritual I do each night, something science now says may be the real secret to slowing aging itself. The Garden of Longevity. Why every bite still matters. They say health is a gift, but I've come to believe it's more like a garden. You don't just receive it, you tend to it, quietly, patiently, day after day. For me, these 7 vegetables weren't trends or diet fads. They were seeds I planted in my life with purpose, intention, and deep respect for the body that's carried me this far. At 92, I've outlived many of my closest friends. Some were stronger than me in their youth, some had better genes, but few had the daily habits that built quiet resilience. I didn't chase longevity, I chased quality, the energy to walk without pain, the clarity to remember my grandchildren's faces, the peace of waking up without fear of sickness. These vegetables, spinach, broccoli, garlic, carrots, onions, peas, and purple sweet potatoes, became the foundation of that quiet strength. They taught me that nourishment isn't about being full, it's about being fortified. It's not about how much you eat, but what you feed your blood, your breath, your bones, your brain. With each bite, I wasn't just adding nutrients, I was sending a message to my body. I still care. I still need you. I'm not done yet. And here's what I want every senior to know: it's never too late. Your cells are still listening. Your immune system still responds. Your mind still adapts. Aging isn't a slow decline, it's a conversation. And food, real food, is the language that keeps that conversation alive. People ask me if I believe in miracles. I do, but not the kind that fall from the sky. I believe in the miracle of choosing a carrot over a cookie, in swapping toast for eggs and spinach, in brewing a cup of warm turmeric tea instead of reaching for pills. These aren't grand gestures, but over time, they become sacred. And if you've made it this far, reading, listening, reflecting, then perhaps something in you already knows. Your health is still in your hands. It may tremble more than it used to, but it holds the power to begin again. Every meal is a vote for the life you want, and every habit is a whisper to the body, stay with me. We've still got living to do. Now, there's one last thing I haven't told you. It's not a vegetable. It's what I do every single night, long after the meals, the walks, the smiles, something quiet and deeply restorative, something that may hold the key to reversing the damage that aging leaves behind. Let me show you. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.